Hi all, Dr. Fields here, the psychologist turned weight loss coach. I can't believe it's already been a year since I put out that video last Thanksgiving about why starting a weight loss plan during the holidays is a great time to do it. Because if you can do it during the holidays, then you can do it anytime during the year. So I still believe that. And for those of you who are planning on starting your weight loss plan soon during this holiday season, I applaud you. That is wonderful. Now, for those of you who are not ready to take such a leap, you know, in the spirit of going against our tendency to think in black and white terms, or to have this all or nothing kind of thinking, think about starting to make some changes now. So maybe you're not ready for a weight loss plan, but that doesn't mean you can't make some changes. Like, for example, why not start an exercise program, a light exercise program during this time? Or why not start to sub out one of your meals for a very healthy version? Like, for example, start eating super healthy breakfasts. The holidays, a lot of the big feasts and meals are around lunch and dinner time. So you certainly have a lot of control over what you eat in the morning. And if you eat something really healthy in the morning, it's going to make you feel really good. It may actually influence your decisions regarding what you eat during the feasts and the meals, or just for the rest of the day. And it's going to kind of set you up for the day that, wow, I'm off to a good start. Okay, that's not the main perspective, though, that I want to hammer home. Not only do we suffer from this all or nothing thinking, but we also suffer from this need to, kind of make ourselves feel good in the short term, right? Like, if we flip flop that equation, you know, putting off short term fixes for long term gratification or long term goals, that would solve all our problems. Easier said than done, right? But we do the opposite. We neglect the long term for our short term needs, or at least what we perceive to be our needs at that moment. So you have to kind of fight fire with fire, right? If that's our tendency, then it makes sense that if we frame making healthy choices as being very beneficial on the short term, then maybe, just maybe, we can really start to implement them. So here's the way I like to look at it. Let's say you're my age, I'm 50. Let's say you're going to live to 80. So that's 30 years, right? 30 more years means you have, I calculated this, 10,950 days left on this planet. And tomorrow you will have 10,949 days left on this planet. And the day after that, 10,948, and so forth and so forth. So each day, when you look at it from that perspective, becomes so much more meaningful. Because, like, 10,000 and some odd days doesn't sound like that much. So here's the thing. A lot of times we put off making these changes, especially when we start getting on, later on life in age, because we're like, you know what? What's the point in starting now? I'm 50 years old. I'm 60 years old. I'm 70 years old. What's the point? You know, maybe I'll lose the weight, but it would take a lot of sacrifice and discipline. And I mean, like, what's the point of doing it right now? You know, I'm older now, and if I haven't done it by now, there's no use. Well, from a weight loss perspective, maybe you could take that. I mean, of course, you could combat that and say, yeah, but you could make the rest of your life amazing if you lost the weight. But I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not going to go down that road right now. I'm simply going to say, and this is a truth, that when you eat healthy, you actually feel better about yourself. I told you all about the experiment that I've been doing with really trying to refrain from processed foods. You know what? What I found, the less processed the food is, the more filling and satisfying it is. And it actually makes me feel better. And this is coming from a person who generally eats pretty healthy to begin with. And I'm telling you that just by kind of getting a little bit more strict with that, I'm actually feeling even better. So if you have been accustomed to eating in an unhealthy fashion for many, many years, when you eat very healthily for on any given day, you are going to feel a lot better that day. So forget the perspective of trying to lose weight and all that. Let's just stick with the perspective that any day that you decide to eat healthy, especially if you start off the day in a healthy way by eating a really healthy breakfast, because that's going to set you up for the rest of the day, you're going to make that a better day for yourself. You're going to feel better about yourself, not just about the choices you made, but you literally will feel better because good healthy food makes us feel better. It just makes us feel better. So when you look at how much time we might have left on this planet, right? And we look at it in terms of days, it really does emphasize how important each day is. And the reason that we want to eat healthily on any given day is simply because it will lead to us having a better day. And since we don't have so many days in our life to squander, none of us, even if you're 20 or 30, I mean, nobody should be squandering days, right? Like life is precious. It really emphasizes why you would want to eat in a healthy manner on any given day because you will feel better about yourself. You will feel better physically, mentally, emotionally. And not just better because you're making better decisions. Like I said, you actually will feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically by eating less processed, healthier types of foods, more whole foods. Each day is a gift. And if the perspective of starting to eat healthy now, later on in life, doesn't really resonate with you because you feel like, what's the point? Try this perspective. Try the perspective that forget about the future, forget about if you're going to wind up losing the weight, forget about all of that. Just focus on, I want to feel good each day. And when I eat healthy, less processed foods, I feel better. And why wouldn't I want to feel better on any given day? If I eat overly processed, unhealthy foods, I feel bad, not just bad about my decisions, but I feel bad physically, emotionally. I'm feeling guilty, like I'm not doing the right thing. And I'm also in this addictive, compulsive kind of pattern because the less processed the, I mean, I'm sorry, the more processed the foods are, the more addictive they are, and the less satisfying they are. And that's what creates the addiction cycle is you're like, wow, that tasted good, but that was it. It's over. And I don't feel good anymore. Now I want to feel good again. So now I have to eat more of the crappy food. And that lasts only a few minutes, and then I don't feel good again. So I need to eat more of it. Very different from eating healthy, unprocessed foods that are really satisfying and don't leave you in this cycle of constantly trying to get that food high again, if you will. So here we are, another holiday season. Why not start looking at each day as an opportunity to make yourself feel good with the food choices that you're making for that day? This is Dr. Fields with something to think about during the holiday season. I'll have more to say about this soon. I wish all of you the best weight loss success and have a great Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before then.